Found out my husband was recording me without nsent and ring videos online while pretending to care for me during COVID after I saw hidden cameras in our room. Last Friday I, 34F, spent my evening with Kate, not her real name, a younger friend, 24F, from work as she wanted to discuss something personal with me. I didn't think anything of it as we do have a very personal relationship outside of work as well. We've been working together for almost 3 years and she's like a little sister to me, so when she messaged asking if we could talk about something important, I immediately agreed. As soon as I arrived to her place she was pacing around her living room and couldn't even look me in the eye. She explained that she wanted to discuss a serious matter with me but that she didn't know how to go about it. I told her to just rip the band-aid off and tell me. She kept stalling and offered me tea first, which just made me more anxious. She went to the kitchen, came back with 2 mugs, set them down, and then just stood there fidgeting with her sleeve. After what felt like forever, she sat down across from me, took a deep breath, and told me that she had found 2 recordings of a woman she believed to be me on a pornographic website. At first, I laughed. I told her that wouldn't be possible, but she was adamant that I was the woman in the recording. I kept insisting she was mistaken until she reluctantly showed me on her laptop. And she was right. I've never recorded myself naked or having sex with my husband, but there I was in 2 recordings of 7 minutes and 4 minutes, both of them recorded in our old bedroom. The videos were taken from an angle above our bed, like someone had placed a camera in the ceiling light fixture or something. It was definitely me. It was definitely our bedroom. As I rewatched every second of it, it starts to dawn on me that this was my husband's doing. But I pushed that deep down because there must be a reasonable explanation for this. Maybe it was a mistake or someone hacked our security system? I don't know, I was grasping at straws. Kate kept asking if I was okay, but I couldn't even form words. Honestly, I left her place with my mind in a complete meltdown. I could barely hear what she was saying, but she did follow up with a text saying she's been in contact with the website about getting it taken down and that she'll help me go through this. She also said she's scouring the internet in case there are more out there. I don't even know how she found them in the first place. When I asked, she said something about a guy she was dating who sent her the link because he thought I looked like someone he knew. Apparently this guy had no idea it was actually me, he just thought there was a resemblance. The whole thing makes me sick. I keep imagining some creep who's seen me at the grocery store or something recognizing me from those videos. I feel like everyone who looks at me knows. I didn't go straight home. I just drove around for hours, crying and screaming in my car. I stopped at a gas station to throw up in their disgusting bathroom. The attendant asked if I was pregnant and I almost laughed in his face. I wish that was my problem. I finally went home around midnight, hoping my husband would be asleep so I wouldn't have to face him yet. Instead of confronting him, I came home and pretty much ransacked my house looking for evidence while he was snoring in our bedroom. And I found it. My husband was using hidden spy cameras to spy on me and record me in my most intimate moments. I found 3 tiny cameras, one in our bedroom light fixture exactly where I suspected, one in the bathroom vent, and one in the bookshelf aimed right at our bed. I almost screamed when I found them, but I managed to stay quiet. I took pictures of where I found them, but I didn't remove them. I don't know why. Maybe for evidence? Maybe because I was in shock? I then just spent hours vomiting, crying, projectile vomiting some more and begging God to just let this be a nightmare. I am a deeply religious and a fully veiled Muslim woman and I've never been with anyone but my husband, and all this time he has been sharing my most intimate moments with the world. I keep praying but I don't feel any comfort. I just feel betrayal. I keep wondering who has seen these videos. I don't know what to think or what to do. I can't look at him or speak to him. I've locked myself in our guest bedroom pretending I have COVID. My husband has no idea I know what he's done. All I do is look up how other people have dealt with getting things removed, and it seems like once it's on the internet it really is forever even if I remove it from this one website. It's been 3 days now. 3 days of hiding in this room, only coming out when he's at work. I've been crying nonstop. He truly must be something demonic, as he is right now talking about ordering in some of my favorites to see if I have an appetite since I haven't been eating well. Every time he knocks on the door asking if I need anything, I feel like screaming. How can he act so normal? How can he be so caring when he's done this to me? When he goes to work, I search more of the house. I found a hard drive hidden in his toolbox in the garage with dozens more videos going back almost 2 years. Videos of me changing clothes, showering, sleeping, everything. Some are just me alone. Some are of us together. I feel violated in ways I can't even describe. I copied some files to my own USB drive as evidence, then put everything back exactly as I found it. I am so unbelievably hurt. I don't know how to share this with my family, how to ask for help. I am crippled with shame, anger and pain. My husband keeps texting me from work asking if my COVID is getting better. For those who will ask some background, my husband and I are the same religion, race, ethnicity and nationality. We've been married for 6 years, together for 8. No kids, thank God. He works in IT, which now makes so much sense with the cameras, and I work at a community center with children. My culture does not participate in honor killings and I'm not afraid of my family harming me or not siding with me. My family would support me in divorcing him, in fact they would demand I do. My brother has never liked him, always said there was something off about him. I guess he was right. The laws in my country are secular, but in certain circumstances it allows for the various religious groups in the country to hold their own courts that can enforce their rulings, as long as it doesn't impose or break secular law or civil liberties. I do plan on taking this to secular court and religious court as I want him punished. I am veiled by choice and the vast majority of my fellow countrywomen do not veil. I am a niqabi, meaning the only part of me visible to the public are my eyes. When I am with my family or with other women / in women-only spaces I don't veil. Kate and I do not share the same religion, nor dress alike, and yet we are friends. Kel surprise. I mention this because I'm worried people will assume this is some kind of religious control thing, but it's not. My husband never forced me to veil, I was veiled before I met him. He never tried to control what I wore or did or who I spent time with. In fact, he always seemed so proud of me being independent. Was that all an act too? I just want to know, has anyone dealt with something like this before? How do I confront him without falling apart? Should I talk to a lawyer first? Should I go to the police? I'm so lost. I'm sitting here in our guest room with the door locked while he watches TV in the living room like nothing's wrong, and I don't know what to do next. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to call my brother. He's a lawyer, not the right kind, but still, and he might know someone who can help. I can't stay here pretending to have COVID forever. Update 1, a lot of you gave me conflicting advice, but most of you said to leave first and talk later, which is what I did. To the person who told me to just talk it out with him, are you serious? He's been recording me without consent for years. There's no talking it out about this. Anyway, I left him as I said I would. I waited until he went to work on Tuesday. Called a moving company Monday night and scheduled them to come first thing Tuesday morning. The movers arrived, we packed my stuff and we left. Not all my stuff, just clothes, personal items, important documents, and my grandmother's jewelry that I wasn't about to leave behind. The entire time I was crying to the point that even the movers were worried for me, but I couldn't stop myself from crying. One of them gave me his sister's number, for some girl talk. I didn't call her though. The last thing I need is more strangers involved in my humiliation. I went home, sat my parents and siblings down, and explained the situation. My parents were and still are confused. They are elderly and fragile. They don't understand the internet. They just keep saying okay, let's talk to the people and it will be gone. They think I can just call Google and they'll remove everything. But my siblings understand. They are angry. They are sad and heartbroken on my behalf. My brother kept saying he knew something was off about my husband. My sister cried with me. My other brother, I have 3 siblings, immediately wanted to go confront him, but we convinced him to wait until my husband got home from work. I just sat on my childhood bed and stared at the wall for hours while they made plans around me. Later that day, my siblings and brother-in-laws took me back to my house. We waited for him and we had a confrontation. He was surprised to see us all there. He acted confused, asking why I wasn't in bed with COVID and why my family was there. He denied it at first. Acted offended that we would even suggest such a thing. So my brothers were firm with him, they didn't hit him, just cornered him and wouldn't let him leave until he started talking, and he started to be more truthful. He said he did it because he was depressed, because he had a porn addiction, sex addiction, and because he didn't think anyone would see it. He said he posted only a few. When we asked him to be specific, he said he posted anything from 5 to 8. Which doesn't match the dozens I found on his hard drive. We had him take it down, but who knows how many times it has been downloaded or shared. In that moment I also found out he had a secret phone. He was also cheating on me with random women and sex workers. All this time I was thinking he's working hard, but nope, he was out disgracing himself and betraying our marriage. I just sat there listening to him confess all these things, and I felt nothing but disgust. This man I've shared my life with for 8 years was a complete stranger. Everything he said about being depressed and having addictions just sounded like excuses. I don't care why he did it. He did it. That's all that matters. At some point he convinced us he needed to use the bathroom, and he somehow managed to call his mother, who arrived at our home with his brother and cousins. There was a commotion as they were angry at the treatment of their family member. They were shouting, my brothers were shouting back, neighbors were coming out to see what was happening. Then things calmed down enough to explain to them what he had done. I couldn't speak, so my sister told them everything. His mother fainted. His mother is elderly and not in the greatest health condition. We called for an ambulance. His brother went from defending him to looking like he wanted to kill him. His cousins just stood there in shock. My neighbor had also called the police and I was arrested by the time the ambulance arrived to take care of my mother-in-law. Apparently during all the commotion, I had slapped my husband. I don't even remember doing it. There was just so much yelling and chaos, and then suddenly there were police officers putting me in handcuffs. I spent the evening locked up. Didn't exactly have polite conversation with the officers. I was just numb. So yes, I was arrested for assaulting him, specifically slapping him, and he refused to press charges. Got released the next morning and went home to my parents. Cried some more because my parents kept crying. They still don't fully understand what's happening, but they know their daughter is in pain, and that's enough for them. Then a few days later I spoke to some lawyers my sister had contacted as they had experience with non-consensual material being posted online. They have been handling things with the police as I did press charges and they are dealing with the websites. I also have started the process of divorce. The lawyers say it will be complicated because of the criminal case, but that I shouldn't have to see him during the proceedings. I went to the clinic and got tested and luckily he didn't give me anything so far, but I have another test scheduled just to make sure. I have spoken to his mother and she apologized to me even though it's not her fault. She told me that she understood why I want him punished. She asked that I let it stay in the hands of the law rather than I hurt him or have him hurt. She's a good woman. I feel bad for her having a son like that. He's in hiding but he still calls and texts me from random numbers. He still lies and tries to manipulate me. One minute he's sorry and begging for forgiveness, the next he's threatening me or blaming me. Yesterday he sent me a text saying this was all my fault for being cold in bed, as if that justifies recording me without consent and sharing it online. I've just been documenting everything he says and texts to me. My lawyer says it's all evidence we can use against him. I don't know what else to say, I'm just taking it day by day. It's been 2 weeks since I found out, and it still doesn't feel real. Some days I can function almost normally. Other days I can't get out of bed. A lot of you asked for updates, so here it is. I'll update again if anything major happens. Update 2, to the commenter who asked if I had led him on, are you kidding me? He was my husband. We were intimate regularly. There was no leading on, we were in a committed relationship. And even if I was cold in bed as he claims, I wasn't. That's still no excuse to record someone without consent and share it online. What is wrong with you people? Anyway, things have gotten worse, if that's even possible. This man has destroyed everything I have worked for and has completely destroyed the very little sense of stability and safety I had left. I had to resign from my job. Jobs don't come easy for me with the way that I look. I can't work there anymore because I am a potential danger to the children and staff. Since perverted men have started to harass me at work. I worked, with vulnerable children and mothers who have heard about me have started to refuse me working with their children. Some don't want me to be involved with their child because their husbands can't stop being weird. My boss tried to be supportive at first. She told me to take as much time as I needed, that my job would be waiting for me. But then the phone calls started. Then the emails. Then a man showed up asking for me by name, saying he saw me online. Security had to escort him out. After the third incident, my boss called me in and said while she supported me personally, she had to think of the safety of the children. I understood. I resigned the next day. Fathers have leered at me or made lewd comments toward me, and one of them even offered me money to sleep with him. Men have catcalled me with greater frequency than ever before. Men stare at me. A man followed me from my dentist office and groped me on the street. I screamed and he ran off laughing. I reported it to the police, but they just added it to my case file. They said there wasn't much they could do without identifying the man. Random men call my phone, my family home and office to verbally abuse me because my husband has posted my address, my personal and work email, phone numbers, workplace address and every other bit of information online. I had to change my number 3 times already. Every time I change it, somehow it gets leaked again. I've stopped answering calls from numbers I don't recognize, but they just leave disgusting voicemails instead. Last week, someone sent pizza to our house. Seems harmless, right? Except they ordered 15 of them, paid in cash, and told the delivery guy to tell the porn star to check her email. I had over 100 new emails, all with links to the videos or messages from men describing what they wanted to do to me. My brother has been staying with us to make sure we're safe, but he has his own family to get back to. He can't babysit me forever. Then I find out from my lawyers and their investigators that he was drugging me and assaulting me as I slept. I suffer from migraines and insomnia and take medication for it. He saw my medication as opportunity to drug me with my own prescriptions. He shared, was actually bragging, on a forum where other perverts congregate how he was so clever for drugging me with my own medication and they were encouraging him to do more things to me. I threw up for hours after learning this. All those nights I thought I was just sleeping heavily because of my medication. All those mornings I woke up feeling strange but brushed it off. He was drugging me. He was assaulting me. He was recording it. And he was sharing it with others like him. I don't even know who I was married to. He's a monster wearing a human face. Soon-to-be ex-husband has also decided to spread rumors that I was aware of the cameras and pressured him into posting online, and there are people WHO believe him. People I thought were friends are now giving me side-eye, like I somehow brought this on myself. A woman from my prayer group pulled me aside and asked if it was true that I liked to be watched. I almost slapped her. How could anyone believe I would want this? He also changed his mind about not pressing charges. I went to court. The judge and prosecutors were sympathetic and dismissed the case. It was a combination of my lawyers explaining the circumstances that led to me slapping him and his subsequent actions, threatening me, attacking me, doxing me and blackmailing me by saying he didn't care about the slap and that he would drop everything if I forgave him. My lawyers used his own words against him since he wrote it in text, and on a recorded call he admitted to me not having slapped him that hard and that he only pressed charges to cause me harm. But his crimes against me are still being investigated by the prosecutors. They say building a case takes time, especially for cyber crimes. Meanwhile, he walks free while I'm a prisoner in my parents' home. I just want this to be over. I keep thinking this can't get worse, but somehow it does. Someone sent his mother screenshots of the videos and she collapsed again. Now his family is divided, half blame me for ruining his life, half are disgusted by him. His brother came to see me, to apologize for not seeing what kind of person his brother was. He offered financial help, but I refused. I don't want anything from that family. I don't know why I'm updating. I just need somewhere to vent, I guess. I'll update if there's any resolution. For now, I'm just trying to survive each day. Thank you to everyone who has been supportive. Your kind words mean more than you know. Update 3. Some of you have asked how I'm doing, if I've gotten over it yet. No. No, I have not gotten over having my privacy violated in the most intimate way possible, losing my job, and being harassed by strangers. It's been a few months, not a lifetime. These things take time. I wish I could say I was feeling better or doing better, but I feel awful and I am still struggling with everything. It is still his life's mission to be as cruel as he can be and to stand in the way of every step I make. He is still refusing to work with my divorce lawyer. He continues to be difficult every step of the way and has run off his own lawyers. He is now on his third lawyer and we are again starting from scratch in the divorce negotiations. He has been granted an extension by the courts due to his last lawyer just dropping him a few days before our hearing. Every time we get close to finalizing something, he fires his lawyer or does something to delay. My lawyer says he's trying to drain my finances, knowing that prolonging this process costs me money. Joke's on him, my brother is covering my legal fees. Last time we were in court, he showed up late, then claimed he hadn't been properly informed of the proceedings, then started crying about how much he loves me and wants to reconcile. The judge wasn't impressed, but still granted him more time to get his affairs in order. I wanted to scream. When is this going to end? As for posting non-consensual material, a trial date was scheduled and he recently asked for an extension and he'll probably be granted it as his criminal lawyer dropped him too. So in last month he has been dropped by his divorce lawyer and his criminal lawyer. The man is on a roll. He keeps showing up at hearings acting like he doesn't understand what's happening, then asking for more time. The prosecutor says this is common with abusers, they try to game the system to maintain control. When it rains it sure pours. My father passed a little over a month ago and my mother is now in hospice care as she is soon to go back to God. I'm sad but not shocked about this as I've had a long time to prepare for it. My father had been battling cancer for almost 3 years and so was as prepared as a person can be, and my mother's health had been declining significantly for years due to her dementia. In his final days, my father made me promise I wouldn't let this situation destroy me. He said even though he wouldn't be here to see it, he knew I would come through this stronger. I'm trying to hold on to that belief, but some days it's harder than others. Balancing grief for my father, worry for my mother, and the ongoing nightmare with my ex is almost too much to bear. Soon-to-be ex-husband decided it was a great idea to corner me at the venue we held the after-funeral meal at. He decided to wait for me to be alone. He approached me as I was cleaning up the venue. I was on my own and at that time I was kind of exhausted and could not muster up the rage to chase him off as I had done many times before. So I just let him talk. He seemed almost decent as he was giving his million excuses on why things were the way they were. He cried about how awful he feels for hurting me. Then he started telling me about how he always felt I was better than him in everything as I made more money, was better educated, had been better traveled than him, and that he felt jealous of my confidence, and how in the beginning these were things that he was most attracted to, but as our relationship and marriage progressed these were the things he started to dislike about me. He also said that he was angry that I refused to consider being a stay-at-home wife and mother, even though he knew from the beginning that I wasn't the stay-at-home/homemaker type. He said that he tried to be a good husband, but that my refusal to bend or let him have the last say in things was the catalyst for his anger and need to humiliate me. So basically, he was punishing me for being the exact same person he married. Make it make sense. He talked about how he had always had addiction issues, but he thought that if he was married he would be cured of his depression, his porn and sex addiction, and he felt like if I ever found out I would have never married him and or would divorce him, and that angered him and pushed him to want to punish me for thinking I was better than him. He was jealous and angry about so many things. But when I said to him, "So you hurt me because you felt jealous and inadequate in comparison," he lost his mind and started to shout and say that he knew I would react that way. I decided to refrain from commenting further and just let him spill his guts uninterrupted. For 3 hours he made excuse after excuse for why he did what he did. I just kept folding chairs and cleaning while he talked. At one point I think I tuned him out completely and was just thinking about what to get for dinner. But it all comes down to him feeling inferior to me, him being jealous and angry that I dared have a mind and life of my own. He said right before our wedding he joined a men's group online that were helping him deal with his porn and sex addiction, and one tip given was to make your own porn and watch that instead, but he knew I'd never agree to it, so it was my fault he needed to spy on me and that he never intend to share it with others. But one day I had angered him so much, and as payback he posted it and he felt good. And so every time I emasculated him by having my own mind or upset him in some way or another, he would post more. Eventually he gained a following and had so many men asking him to post more he started to like the fact that other men looked up to him for his sexual prowess, and at the same time his sex addiction started to come back and he fell back into his habit of picking up women, and when he couldn't get it for free, he'd hire a sex worker. Then I guess it spiraled out of control for him. The more he spent on his addictions, the more lies he told, the more he felt like a failure for me covering our expenses, the more he resented me, and he got stuck in a cycle of self-destruction, which in turn only fueled his anger with me. So now it's my fault for making more money than him? For paying bills when he couldn't? I should have let us get evicted to protect his fragile ego? He also says he joined a support group for addicts and started going to an addiction rehabilitation clinic as an outpatient to deal with his issues, and that I should give him credit for that. He feels that I should be proud of him for doing that and that I should take him back since he's putting in so much work. He also feels I should appreciate him not stalking me since my dad died, and he is sincere in feelings this way. He genuinely doesn't understand why I'm not seeing how hard he's been trying the past few months. In his deluded mind he thinks that his honesty in our conversation should count for something, and that I am just being a heartless bitch for having been stoic and unmoved by his tears and his show of vulnerability. He wants a medal for not harassing me while my father was dying. What's weird is that during our marriage, he never talked this much. He was always quiet, reserved. Now he won't shut up. It's like now that he's been caught, he suddenly has so much to say, so many feelings to express. Where was all this communication before? Why couldn't he just have talked to me instead of doing what he did? Even though he gave a great performance of being human during our conversation, I remained unmoved by it because there was nothing to be moved about. I just continued to pack things up from the venue and got in my car and went home. I think I said maybe 10 words the whole time. He called me cold as I was leaving. I almost laughed. I'm still not working. I still have crazy men calling my phone at all hours of the day, and I still feel humiliated and embarrassed. I don't know when or if any of this will end. My brother wants me to move in with him on the other side of the country to get away from all this. I'm considering it. There's nothing keeping me here anymore. My father is gone, my mother barely recognizes me most days, and my job is gone. A fresh start might be what I need. There was a hearing last week where he showed up with yet another new lawyer. This one seemed equally unprepared. They asked for another extension, which was granted. My lawyer was furious, but there's not much we can do. The system moves at its own pace. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in this limbo, unable to truly move forward until this is resolved. The only good thing that has happened is that several of the sites have taken down the recordings and banned him from using their platforms. Small victories, I guess. My lawyers are still working on getting them removed from other sites, but it's like playing whack-a-mole. As soon as they're removed from one place, they pop up somewhere else. I'll update again when there's something to report. Sorry this was so long and rambling. I just needed to get it out. Thanks for listening. Update 4, finally I have some good news. So a while back I was granted a restraining/protective order, and my now officially ex-husband did continue to stalk and harass me. After the umpteenth time of calling the police and going to court, he was finally imprisoned, and he has been in prison for a little over a month. To those asking what finally got him arrested, he showed up at my mother's hospice facility. He claimed to be family and almost made it to her room before security stopped him. When they tried to escort him out, he became violent. This time, they didn't just file a report. They arrested him on the spot for violating the restraining order and assault. I was also granted my divorce. I initially wanted a quick divorce and wanted to just give him everything he asked for, but he kept finding ways to delay or asking for more and more, and I just snapped, so I told my lawyers to do their worst and they did. My lawyers hated him and I got everything I wanted and way more. Not to gloat, but it was really satisfying seeing him cry. The divorce hearing was surprisingly quick once he was in custody. Without him there to create delays and with his latest lawyer clearly unprepared, the judge had little patience for their arguments. When the settlement was announced, his lawyer looked shocked. They clearly expected me to cave, to give in just to be done with it all. But I held firm, and it paid off. This has been the most peaceful month I've had in a long time. This entire time has been such a trying time, and it has affected my mental and physical health. I've lost 12 kilograms and I've lost a ton of hair due to the stress he was causing me. But I can honestly say that him wailing in court was the chicken soup my soul needed. My sister says I'm starting to look like myself again. I've moved from my city and now live on the other side of the country, and I've gotten myself a decent enough job. I am slowly mending my confidence. I don't want to say too much about where I am or what I'm doing for obvious reasons, but it's a smaller city, people are friendly, and no one knows my history. I am in therapy and I can't say it's working right now, but I know if I stick with it, it will. My therapist says it takes time. Whatever. She keeps asking me to explore my feelings about what happened, but I don't see the point. It happened. It was awful. What good does it do to keep talking about it? Still, I go each week because my brother made me promise I would try for at least 6 months. 3 down, 3 to go.